members. Welcome to the study circle meeting on Risk Landscape in Dynamic Era with spotlight on compliance review mechanism under NFRA. Very important, NFRA is everywhere, so all of us will have to be aware what kind of cases are there and what is happening there. So we have Mahesh as the speaker for the day today, CA Mahesh. I request our chairman Pramod to escort the speaker to the dais and greet him. Can we have a round of applause for him? Welcome to you, Mahesh. I request chairman to give the welcome.
Good evening, members. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for the today's study circle meeting. A gathering that is aimed at dissecting and understanding the risk landscape in this dynamic era with particular focus on compliance mechanism and the NFRA. I would like to thank today's speaker, CA Mahesh M, who I've been discussing on this topic so that we get enlightened on this topic. Actually, when I was discussing about the topic, I told him specifically that why not we deal with IT. If you've seen the RERA reports, on NFRA reports, it's mostly on the documentation and what is the work done and how it's been executed so far. So since I think this becomes a traditional and approach, why not we anticipate what would happen next with respect to the technical aspects when they look into the IT landscape, IT governance and IT era. So that was the discussion. Is that probably that we can discuss perhaps some other time. So now we'll primarily focus on the IT dynamics as well, on the normal compliance and mechanism and the safeguards and threats we undergo during our professional life. Further to it, probably in other sessions perhaps, let's anticipate. I think before NFRA comes, let's probably anticipate further that what could go wrong. Just like how we have a risk-based audit approach, now let's start looking at risk-based perception also in the IT dynamics. And NFRA, in a way, has actually transformed the way we audit, and it's aimed at enhancing more of transparency and financial accuracy and integrity in India. Through our current presentations and our subsequent discussion, we'll explore the intricacies of these mechanisms that might have an impact on our professional duties and obligations as well. Let's delve into the I don't think I would like to take much of the time. Before we hand over, I request our secretary to give the brief introduction of the speakers and move on. Let's all make this event or this session meaningful. Let's ask questions. I think he has patience enough to handle all our questions. So with this, I would like to hand over to Secretary. Welcome you all to today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So Mahesh comes with an experience of more than 12 years in the field of risk advisory, internal audits, process reviews, ICFR, forensic audits and so on. He is currently associated, he is an associate director at Protivity in Bangalore. His educational qualification, he has more than 10 degrees against his name, CA, CPA, certified fraud examiner, certified information system auditor, company secretary, cost management, I mean whatever you can think of, all of them are in his name. So he has wide experience across the industry, IT, ITS, manufacturing, hospitality, healthcare, and with this wide experience in these areas, he is well qualified to address us today on the subject. So I hand over the dais to him. Mahesh, over to you, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kavita. So also, I would like to thank Chairman Pramod and the complete staff here, campus staff. So without them, nothing would happen here. so much for giving this opportunity. Yep. So before we go on to the topic, today's topic, right? Probably let's spend some time on. I think I can see here a couple of young chartered accountants like me, then also some senior chartered accountants who we can ask their experience also when when we go to our topic today. Yeah. So if you go to our Bangalore SCM Bangalore website, right? So they conduct a lot of events. Last week we had some event on CFOs meeting, CFOs perspective. Today this event, next week they have something on startups. So they conduct a lot of events. In fact, I think a couple of months back they had some audible. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, it's clear now. So can you hear me? Probably you need to increase the sound. Right. So the ICA Bangalore, they conduct a lot of events. Since I can see some over 8 chapter codes here, probably they can go to the website and they can get the best use of the initiatives taken by ICA Bangalore. So I think a couple of months back they had some event on where they're going to Malaysia, Singapore. I don't know how they get these thoughts and giving those initiatives. So I heartfully appreciate ICA team the initiatives that they have been doing, and I wish them all the best, and I wish them they'll continue to do all these different initiatives, because sometimes you don't know it will the facilities given by ICA Bangalore, it will impact certain lives. So for example, when I was studying CA, some 10 years, 10, 12 years back. So I was looking for a place to study, basically. So when you are young, at let's say 22 or 23, when you're doing your articleship and you want to study, you want to focus on your CA final exams, you need a place to study. So I found that the Bangalore, Bangalore ICA has a facility. There is a library, I think, in the first floor. So I started coming here, then I could focus on my studies completely for 3 months. I used to come here in the morning and I used to leave in the evening. Of course, almost some 10:30. So I was the first person to come and I was the last person to leave. So this branch helped me focusing on my studies and clearing my CA. So once I cleared my CA, I think you have seen my the laundry list that I have after CA, all that. So these things, right, these facilities are very useful for whether for students or for members. Yeah. So these are the things that I just wanted to say before we go on to our today's topic. Yeah. So now let's go to the topics. Today's topic. So our title looks like some movie title where you have a movie title and below that you have some tagline. So our title, the title also says that, but nevertheless, so our focus is today. So what are the risks that are there in 2024? Then what are the risks, the possible risks that can pursue till under 10 years, say 2034? So we will take up a couple of risks from here. Then we'll discuss in detail as we go on. Let's go to the further slides. So this is our agenda. So where we have some survey done by Protivity, where they have identified some top 10 risks in 24 and 34. From here, I have identified certain topics, including cyber threats, third-party risks, economic conditions, then the manpower-related issues, then finally compliance review and NFRA. So which is our major topic today. So I kept this NFRA at the end because you need a climax. Which is good. If you go for a movie also, you will feel that the movie is good from the beginning to end. If climax is not good, people will say that okay, the movie is not good. So since NFRA is our the core topic for today, so let's spend more time on NFRA probably at the end. Yeah, so I think everyone is I think I can see some senior people here. We are aware of the importance of NFRA. So even if you go to any top management today, so they talk about NFRA. So recently, I had a chance to meet a couple of CFOs. Trust me, even without I initiate the discussions, they have started talking on NFRA. So Mahesh, what is the now overview of NFRA? Your firm has received any notices or super notices from NFRA. So the NFRA went to such an extent where people are not from CA background, they know about NFRA now. So the importance of the NFRA. Yeah, let's discuss this in the subsequent slides. So yeah, it's like I feel like earlier in movies we can say that Baka Bob or Baska Boss. Now NFRA become like auditor for auditor, audit and audit. So let's move on to the slides now. Yeah, if you can see here it looks there is too much language, but I'll try to summarize this. So this, if you can see, there are the right side there are some top 10 risks, in 24 and 34. So how these 10 risks are arrived is that, so Productivity has done a survey, by taking help of a reputed university. So the survey has done, by considering, let's say, C-suite management. The couple of questionnaires have sent to C-suite management, including, let's say, CEOs, CFOs, or board of directors. So around some 1,400 members have participated in this survey. So they have come up with, let's say, we have sent some 70 plus hard questions or risks. Then from out of this 70, so these are the top 10 risks which the board sees that okay, we should give a priority in 24. Similarly, so in 2034, exactly after a decade, so we can see the other side, those are the risks which we can see, the board sees that those are things which the management needs to focus. Also, once we as an auditor, whether internal auditor or statutory auditors, we also need to focus on these aspects. So let's discuss now, let's spend some time on these risks, then we'll go on to the specific details. Let's say the first one, right, in the blue color where you can see the first risk. So what you can see the numbers, right, these are the not the numbers, these are the rankings. So the first one is like economic conditions. So people, the top management feels that okay, the economic conditions are given priority for this year in 24. Probably I also agree with this. You have you can correlate with the past incidents that have happened recently. So including our love towards Maldives. You have seen that, right? Modi went to Maldives, Lakshadweep. Then immediately there are many things that happened because of that incident. Also our coronavirus. Take an example of, let's say, Sri Lankan crisis or war between Iraq and Russia. So these are the economic conditions. Maybe because of that, the top management would have felt that okay, we need to give more priority on the economic conditions and we need to assess what are the risks because of these economic conditions. But if you see after 10 years, right, in 2034, this economic conditions is coming, it is taking 7th rank, which means that after 10 years, cyber threats is the prime area where we need to focus. So I think you also need to agree with me because we have seen the trends that are happening from last 1 decade. You can compare from your pre-COVID and post-COVID. What are the changes that we have seen in the digital format? So right, so including your AI, ML, BI. So there are a lot of new technologies that have come out from last 10 years. Also, this trend will continue even another 10 years also. That's why the top management is giving priority for cyber threats. So I think recently, a couple of days back, there is a news on 6G, where Japan and some other countries there already started working on 6G. It might come soon even in India. So when you have this kind of rapid improvements in the cyber, in the technology, definitely there is an impact on cyber. So that's why I think they're focusing on the cyber. So I think this. Let's say for example, the smartphones. Nowadays, I think everyone have at least 1 or 2 smartphones. But not if you go back to some 10 years back, we had like normal phones, not the smartphones. So that's how the digital landscape has increased. I think nowadays we have more social accounts, social media accounts than our bank accounts. Like it be your Facebook, Twitter, Insta, I don't know, your TikTok. We have so much involved in social media That's why I always say that we have many accounts than many social media accounts than our bank accounts. So which will lead to the cyber crimes and cyber threats. Yeah. So now you see in 24, it is like third rank. The third number you can see, cyber threats is third rank, but after 10 years it will be the first rank. So if you go further, the second rank, if you can read, it is like ability to attract and develop and retain manpower. So to give an example, at least when I was doing an articleship, so we used to do the manual watching. But now I think watching is only, it will come at the end. So we need to now population audit, where we need to do only sampling. It's very minimal cases. So we need to do population audit. So also to give an example, let's say if you want to do some expense audit, where employee has claimed some duplicate bills. Let's say there is a hoarding, some marketing expenses. So he put up some hoarding, for advertisement. Then he has submitted a bill. So that earlier, right, when we verify the documents, then if we see that okay, he has claimed twice, there is the same photograph is attached in one invoice, the same photograph is coming in another invoice. Then we used to find that way, yes, there is a duplicate, duplicate of expense. They claimed the expense multiple times. But now that is not the case, because there is something called image analytics, video analytics. The moment when you upload all these documents, you will get the exception report where it says that okay, you have some duplicate pictures, duplicate invoices. So that's how the trends now, the things have changed. Accordingly, our skills also have to be changed. Let's say if you do still, I have done my articleship with the watching. If now also I do the watching, that may not work. So we need to improve our skill. So management also, they need to find the right skills. That is becoming very difficult nowadays. It can be our consulting firms, let's say internal audits or statutory audits or taxation or GST, or probably from other side also the client side. So because of the technology, because of changes in the market, so there are new skills have evolved. So at the same time, there is a difficulty in getting those skilled people. So we'll discuss more on this, why people leave, why attrition rate. So we will go when we go to other subsequent slides. The other one is, let's see, this is coming, the manpower part is coming, the second rank in 2024 as well as 2034. Yeah, that is the importance of manpower strategies or manpower retention. Yeah. So the fourth one is third-party risks. You see that third-party risk is a major concern now. I'm not sure whether any organization or any company has, they are running the business without third-party being involved. So I don't know, I have not seen any company, unless if you are running a small, let's say, proprietary firm, and then there also you require some third-party involvement. That's why the third-party, the people, the board feels that okay, third-party risks have to be addressed on priority. Yeah? So here also this is one of the topic for our today's discussion. We'll go in depth when we go for the subsequent slides. Similarly, the regulatory changes. If you see the regulatory changes, it is like fifth rank in 24, and it is also fifth rank in 2034. The changes, the regulatory changes, the compliance mechanism. So we have seen recently, like so we have now labor law coming into force soon. Then we have our DPDP, Data Privacy and Data Protection Act. So not only this, like every time we will get some new laws. Even if there is a change in the government, we will get some new laws. That's how the compliance aspect is most priority for any company in the world, for that matter. Yeah. So if I summarize this, first of all, this is a summary. But if I summarize this summary, so all these risks will come into four buckets, or five buckets. One is that your economic conditions, then manpower related risks, then IT and cyber, then third party risks, and then compliances. These are the five buckets. Probably we'll discuss this five topics separately. So I'll move on to other slides. Yeah, you can see this is the summary of the above slide, where 9 out of 10 people feel that okay, cyber threats is a major risk. Then some 58% of people feel that economic conditions are playing major role in doing the business. Yeah, 61 people feel that the manpower, attracting the right talent is the high concern for them. So again, so here, right, so we have taken up multiple topics together. So when, let's say we have discussed now a summary of the survey, now we are going to cyber threats. After this we'll go to different topics. So it's like, if you've seen Game of Thrones series, right, where one series will be shown in, let's say, some snow area. Suddenly another episode will go into like mountains. So we'll move one area to other area. Similarly here we have different topics. We are trying to fit in one bucket. Probably let's see how I can give the nexus between one topic to another. If our first topic is cyber threats, where so if you can see here cyber threats this year third rank, and the after decade first it is like prime aspect that needs to be handled. Yeah. So again, we are, because I can see here senior chartered accountants and young chartered accountants, so we don't have to explain again what is cyber threat. But anyway, if you can, but I'll use some examples. Okay, if you if you've seen some movies, right, or the olden movies where the villain having a one mole and handshake, and he'll call like kidnap case. If you remember the kidnap scene in movies, like people will the villain, right, he'll kidnap the person, then he'll ask for money, right? Similarly, let's say if you want to steal some money or gold, right? So how do we do? Let's say we have a plan, right? If a thief, if he wants to do some robbery, and also they'll have a plan where they'll find a place now which house we need to attack today. So how we can enter there? Whether how many doors they have, like where they store this money and gold, right? So they'll have a plan. They don't just steal the money, and they kidnap people and they ask for money. If you know this, then it is it's easy to understand your cyber threats. Let's say, for example, thief wants to steal money from my house. So he'll have all this, but he'll enter into the house, he'll go to there, he'll whatever, physical stuff he'll do. Now in cyber, the reason is because the money, the gold, everything is in physical form. It is kept in a physical stuff. That's why he makes that good. Now here the money or data, everything is in digital format. So now I don't have to do any physical stuff. Now I need to find my way in digital way only. I need to find how I can enter into their network security. How can I hack them? Because the money is in bank. How can I go to his bank account? How can I get money from his bank? So that's how, like, your regular theft is, if you understand that, cyber theft is also equivalent to that, but it is in digital format, because your bank, your amount, your gold, your documents, everything is in digital format. Right. So that's why though I have given the again by the definition of what is cybercrime, but this is more of like getting into your network and taking your digital form, like your money, your data, so that will come out of your cyber threat. So these are some of the examples of cyber threats where everyone aware of these cyber threats, including your malware, phishing, ransom, DDoS, or your insider threats, or social engineering attacks. So these are few examples. Anyway, there are multiple cyber threats. In fact, every year people find different threats, different threats. So we'll see. We have a couple of slides on how people have identified these threats. So if you see that the objective of this threats is like of course financial gain. So we just spoke about some example, right? We going to a house and getting the money because it's financial gain. So kidnapping people, it's again financial gain. The motive is the financial gain. Here also for cyber threats, everyone knows that it is the major the objective is to get some financial stuff. That can be money or whatever the hacker needs. The second one is that recognition and achievement. Let's say, in fact, I did this when I was doing some hacking classes. I was trying to hack some websites and show to my teacher saying that I have hacked. So it is legal anyway. So in fact, I went to some Pakistan website and I got scared and I came back because by looking at that stuff, literally I got scared. So this literally happens with the people. So when you want to showcase that you have good skills, you try to attempt to do this kind of stuff. This another that's why people do cyber threats. So another one is revenge, because I don't like you, I don't like your company, and you are my boss, you scolded me, I show like what skills I have. So that will come under third part. So when there is cyber crime, right, it need not be a financial impact. you will have other impacts like your recognition, to get your fame or to take revenge. And top of that, there are other like getting into your confidential details like your IP related stuff, or some you would have seen movies like hacking from one country data from other country, like where especially in our Bollywood or Hollywood movies, where people sit in one room and they'll try to hack other countries' data. So similar way, so that here also people do that. So these are the major purposes which we all know. But yeah, so now we know this cyber threat and we have a lot of the purpose of the threats. Then so what? So what do we do now? So as an auditor, as a consultant, as a company, as a CFO, what do I do? So what kind of things that I can implement here? So that we'll see in the subsequent slides. Yeah, I think hope we are clear in the basics. Earlier in the movies we call like your thief or kidnapper, but we can call them now cyber criminal. That's the only difference. So these are the certain trends that have been there from last 10 years. You see the first one where cyber crime gone up by 600% due to COVID. Right, so 600% earlier there are some 100 cases, now 600 cases. The reason is COVID. I think everyone knows that how things have changed in the COVID. Many people have got connected to internet. That's where now. So let's say if you want to go for to steal some money for a robbery. I think I'm talking about more on the robbery and theft. Don't ask me how I know this. I don't have any practical experience. I've seen in the movies. So the thief, right? He plans nicely. He'll see what time he can go for to steal the money, either in the night time, in the daytime, they're in the house or they're not in the house. Similarly here, right, in the COVID, right, many people have got connected to internet since you cannot go out. That is the reason where the hackers found that okay, this is the right time to attack. So that's where cases have gone like, I think nothing have gone like this. In fact, this is the second point where the impact of this, the cyber crime cost is coming up close to some 10.5 trillions. Trillions, I don't know, trillions meaning, I don't know how many zeros will come. If you can multiply that, it will come into, like, it says that 1% of global GDP. I think it is bigger than any industry in the world. So that is the impact of the cyber. So third one, right, it's like the impact is more on the small businesses. Because you feel that okay, cyber is like very big term, it is only for big corporates, but even small businesses also are getting impacted. If you can see, like it is like the cost is ranging from around $1,20,000 to 1.24 million. For small business, right, if there is a cyber attack, I think you will have to lose your business because incurring this much cost. It's like very huge cost for a small business. Yeah. If you see, there are other terms like where it is 50% of these cyber attacks on only small scale businesses. Then as I told it in the first slide where we have seen some example like phishing, your ransomware, all that. But if you see the fifth line here, there are some 130 cyber security breaches are identified every year. So this is an average. So you see that people are, how they are finding the ways to attack your data, your network security. Okay. So the sixth one is like there are top 5 cyber crimes which we will discuss in the coming slides. The major motive is ransom. Again, when I say ransom, it's like you kidnap a person and you lost your money. Same thing. So I hack your data, I kidnap your data. Let's say English, right? I cannot use kidnap word, but still that's the essence. I kidnap your data, then I lost my money. Yeah. So we'll see. So since it's a major motive, the ransom is major motive for this cyber. So I think ransom. I think you're aware, right? Ransom is like asking for money in our layman language. If you see the trends, right, where so why ransom is very important. So they have done some survey, like say if you can see that the tab which is in the color, right. So there are some 304 million cyber attacks have been happening, especially for ransomware, which means that 37,000 ransomware attacks per hour. So around some 600 attacks per minute. which means that okay, every minute there will be like some 600 attacks. That is the importance of ransomware. So that's why it scares the people, especially at the top management. Then yeah, you can see that why if I take your data, I'll attack your data, then I'll ask for your money. Then what happens? Like I'll pay the money, then I'll get my data back. Is that okay, or is there an impact on the ransomware? Or anyone can answer this? So impact of ransomware. If I take control your data, then I'll ask for your money. So you'll give me the money. So is that we'll end the story there, or we'll have further consequences?
So reputation of loss.
Yeah. So that's right. Reputation loss. There's a revenue loss. So let's say, for example, imagine that okay, we have hacked a bank, for example. So if you know that bank hacked, okay, the bank data is compromised. Now, will you go and deposit your money there? Obviously no. So for example, insurance company. So insurance company, let's say they have compromised their data. There is a hack. The people have hacked their data. So tomorrow, are you going to take their insurance company? Obviously, answer is no. So similarly, it's not only the revenue loss that we, the amount that we pay to the hackers. Also, there is a reputation loss. There is a revenue loss also, because if they say that okay, you will not give the data for another 1 month, you cannot run your business for 1 month. So for this 1 month, you will lose your revenue also. That's why 60% of the companies they have lost their revenue as well. So this is the average. If you can see the slide, the average cost per company. This is again survey done by a company where they consolidate the data, then they come up with this. So average cost is like $2 lakh for every company that because of this ransomware. The highest ransom was paid by an insurance company, which is like $40 million, which means that if I convert it into rupees, it will be I think close to 300 crores. So paying 300 crores for a company is like I think it's a very huge thing. Yeah. Then okay, let's say for example, you paid the data, so you paid the money. So the hacker has requested, he has demanded some money from you. You paid the money. So do you think that okay, you will get your data back? So you paid the money, you will get your data back. So even if you pay the money, you will not. There is no guarantee that they will give you. So only 8% of the companies, they've got their data back. They got their access to their data. So remaining 92% of the cases simply they've taken the money, then they've left it there. So also the 80% of the companies, right, where they paid the money, again after some time again they've attacked. Again they back the data. It's like you're giving money, again I'll take the money, I'll come back again, I'll come to your house, I'll take your money, again I'll come there. It's like kidnapping data, I'll kidnap your son. Example, so sorry that I'll take money, again I'll do that same thing. So same thing is happening here also. That's why I think management feels that they give the high priority for this. In fact, whatever you can see here, the data, 304 million or 37,000 per hour attacks. I think this is, to the extent it is correct, because many companies they have not disclosed the cyber attacks. Because if they disclose, right, obviously they lose their reputation. So only the surveys or whatever you can see in the internet, right? These are the cyber attacks in this decade, this year. Those are only the half of the information, because many companies they don't disclose the cyber attacks because they have a fear of they lose the business and reputation in the market. So these are some of the graphs or the statistics that I've seen in a couple of trusted websites, where they can see the graph, right, from 2017 to 2022, there's a drastic change, the increase in the cyber attacks, especially in the 2021 because of the COVID. So it went from let's say 192 million to 623 million attacks. That is the range of cyber threats. So this is another slide where the country-wise, which countries are attacked more. So here also we are getting first rank. So we are always number one. So here also we are number one. So 68% of the cases are found only in India. Again, because of COVID, because there are many reasons, we'll see those reasons. We are number one. Yeah. So if you can see, these are the type of attacks that are these are very important. Even it's not only for companies, even for us also. So I don't know how many how many of you have installed antivirus app in your mobile. Have you anyone installed here antivirus app? So experienced. Yeah. So in fact, I have installed. Okay. So you have seen some movies, right, where the investigators, if they find the mobile, right, so they'll track easily your your password also, because you see your mobile right at the screen. Always, if your password is 123, you are always press like 123. By looking at your fingerprints, they can find your password also. So, but if you use a certain antivirus software set, you will not the moment when you open your mobile, the numbers it will not come in the same order 1, 2, 3, 4. First time will come 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Next time 1 will come at the end, 9 will come at the beginning. So every time the pattern will change. So I think it's better to use antivirus software even for our mobiles also, our personal laptops. It's not only for the companies. If you see the chart here, the majority, the 54% is because of your spam or phishing emails. So this happens even not only companies, even let's say even if you see this IPR, right? And IPR you will get ads saying that the RBI is giving ads on phishing, where people will get some message saying that okay, you 1 lakh is credited to your bank account. Please click the below link. You click that. So you instead of getting your 1 lakh, you will give him 1 lakh. So same also you will get one more message like where work from home option for. We'll pay you like per hour 10,000 rupees. We'll click there. So these are the phishing stuff where it's in fact here there is survey basically. So educators are more educators are the victims for this phishing. Let's say if labor, for example, people are working for a building, right? Daily contractor, daily workers. If they don't know the language, probably by looking at the numbers, if they click, there is a reason because they don't know. But we are educated, we know that. Who will give us money, 1 lakh or 10 lakhs for us, but still we go and click on the link, we lose our money. So that is the phishing part. Because of phishing, we have a lot of cyber script. And the same with our companies also. Like we will get some phishing emails, without knowing that we click that. Then poor user practices. That I think we should agree. If you go company right, any company, when you go to your clients, you observe they have some any documents, physical documents. Just observe how they dress like. So simply they tear it and they throw it in the dustbin. So that's not a good practice. You should use a proper initiative to destroy your papers, because these are you never know. So maybe you will see some confidential information in your documents. Similarly, the practices, some people I've seen where they write their username and password at their desk. They paste it. They write the username is this software. If you're using multiple software, you write software name also. So SAP username, password. So we are still, I can see this in like multinational companies. So I think that is the if you have this kind of practices, definitely you will get more and more attacks. The third one, if you can see the third one and the fourth one, right? Weak passwords. Again, many people when you say that you use some strong password, you don't use. Trust me, I have done some hacking stuff here. Certain passwords, right? Like say audit123, admin at 123. There are some softwares where these passwords, right? You don't have to hack only. The moment when you apply that, there is one icon basically. So when you click on that button, if you are using this generic password, right, you can directly go to your accounts. So that's why you are not supposed to use very generic passwords. I've seen one client where it is like a listed company. So they are about to list. In fact, the IT person who is using a software which controls all other softwares in that console basically. So for that software, using a password called audit at 123. So then how he can educate others? So I think if he is using that kind of password, it's for the the moment if I'm the hacker, I can easily get into the complete network. So I think these are the practices which any company or even for us also, like if in person also we should use the strong passwords. Also another thing is like we use the passwords, right, where like there is auto store option. The moment when you give only your email ID and username, the password will come automatically. That is again the worst practice. Trust me, I myself, I said right, when I was taking some hacking classes, I've hacked the known relatives accounts, saying that okay, see you've saved your password already. So I showed them this is the password. It is easy to track. You don't need any tools also for that. Simple tricks you can track your passwords. So that's why the passwords are very important. Yeah. So the last one, there are others. We'll discuss two things. The report and clickbait. Clickbait is nothing but like you'll get messages urgent, emergency, transfer 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. This will happen majorly with this emotional blackmail basically. So this will happen in corporates. I've seen in one of the client, I was in the spot where the accounts payable person, he got an email from one foreign account basically, from Vietnam. He got an email saying that so you need to process this PO, please pay the amount immediately, urgent basis. You have seen that email, that's very urgent, as if you want it, like, the amount immediately. The accounts payable person, right, he processed the amount because there is a directly, the email also looks like it's regular email that he has been getting from the same person, but he has checked the bank account without checking this, because since he is saying urgent, without talking to him, he processed the amount. In the next moment, they realized that okay, they said clickbait. So these things will happen in our lives also. Yeah. I think these are the major reasons why so the cyber threats are becoming more and more. So for this, now what do we do? So what, as a person, as a consultant, as an auditor, as a CFO or a CEO, what do you do? So what are the best practices? One is that employee training is must, because you have seen here, the practices that we have. Weak passwords, that we destroy, how do we destroy our documents, our laptops. So in fact laptops, right, there is one question, see when I have done my CISA, CNSS, everywhere you can see also there is one standard question. So if you destroy your laptops, if you remove, so let's say for example you have stored some data, you deleted all the data from your hard disk or your laptop. So whether still can be retrieve the data? This is the standard question which actually in all the exams, the answer is yes. Because even if you feel that you have deleted complete data, but still we can extract the data. So we need ideal practices, we should destroy the laptop or laptop or hard disk, which if you don't want that. So that's where your employee training and awareness is very much important. How to use your passwords, how to use your phishing emails, other best practices. Then you need to have your these are regular stuff, regular software updates. In fact, we also, like in mobile also, like if you don't update your including your Google Chrome or your apps, especially your PhonePe, when you use this, right, the UPI apps, I'm sure that it is the point for the hackers to hack, because they would have found some bug, they were already rectified. How they would have found a bug? Because of these incidents. So they were rectified, but you are not updating this, which will allow people to hack your mobile as well. Yeah, and you need to have some network security measures, including your IDS, IPS, encryption policies, your backup policies, of course, incident management plan, and especially your vendor. So in the first slide we spoke about vendor third-party risks. Let's imagine that your company, the company has complete, they have very tight controls. They're using good antivirus software. They are doing periodic audits. They have very good controls. But the auditor, for example, auditor like me, where I don't have, if I go to my laptop, I don't have any controls in my laptop. I can use my USB, I can use my personal purpose, I can do anything. If I connect to your company, so the hacker easily can get into the company's network also. That's where your vendor and third-party risk is always as a high priority. So we'll discuss that in a couple of slides. Then you need to have your continuous monitoring and execute your continuous monitoring. Like say you need to do your audits, like say your quarterly audit, yearly audits. If you don't do these audits, you definitely will not know what are the major threats that you have, major design gap that you have in your IT network side. Then the last one is that executive support. You need to have your management support. This has to be your it should come from your culture, your organization culture. If you don't have that culture, then definitely you will not be able to do anything. Even if you give some trainings, but people will not follow. But if you develop this as a culture, I think everyone will follow. Let's say in our family, if you have some custom where you need to do some XYZ things. If your family, like say, as a head of your family, your father or your grandfather, if they do all this, definitely will also follow. So because that's our culture. Similarly, we need to have our culture in our organization. Generally, these things can be at least we can have some control. Otherwise, we will definitely not have any control. So since we are talking about third-party risks here, right? Let's discuss on third-party risks now. So till now in the cyber risk, you have any inputs or you have any questions? Yes, sir.
This you said that even if you wipe out all the data,
Yeah.
the hard disk can still be recovered.
Yes, very much.
If we do a factory reset, then I don't think it is possible.
Still we can recover. So the only way is to destroy that. Once you have stored the data, delete it.
Physically we have.
Yeah, physically you need to destroy that. Otherwise, still we have ways to find the data, retrieve the data.
Suppose you fill the data, fill the disk with some junk data.
Junk data.
Full disk you fill it with junk data. Then delete it. Then the previous version will can't be retrieved.
It depends on your the hard disk size. Let's say if it's 1 TB, I think we cannot store junk data of 1 GB. So, 1 TB is. If you can store, but definitely we can retrieve. Okay, you're saying that let's say I have 1 TB of data. I've stored 1 TB, then I've stored again 1 TB, so that the previous data will be deleted. Now, probably, but that data, what is there in the hard disk, even the moment when you delete, right, including your factory settings, still the immediate data can be recovered. You asked me the data which was erased by the new data, right? So I'm not sure on that, but definitely we
Just
can
fill up through an automated process. Just go on filling up some junk data.
Okay.
You fill up the disk, whatever is the 2 TB or 5 TB. You fill it up, then you delete it. Which means the original data is gone. On that the junk data has come. Then you are deleting it. So the previous version of the data cannot be retrieved.
I think so, sir. So we can still extract because it is replacing it, right? If I can extract it again, what extent? If I don't have the data, for example, let's say 1 TB, I have filled up the data completely 1 GB or 1 TB, then I think we can let's say out of 1 TB you have filled only 90%. The 10% we can recover.
So once we know that it can be recovered, you fill it up fully.
Yep. Makes sense. I think
And
we can.
if that also can be, previous version can be done. Do it second time.
Okay. Then if you keep on doing it, I think once you fill it 1 TB, I think definitely we cannot go back to our history, but we can retrieve the data which the junk data we can retrieve. I think you found a way, so probably you can do that. But that may not be possible to store, let's say 1 TB, and that's very difficult. Maybe if you can do it, I think that's a good idea. I think so far good. Probably we'll go to third party now. Third party risks. I think here also, let's say again this session, right? Let's keep it more interactive because we are all here. Probably I'm like a student, or maybe I'm you can see that I'm not so senior person. Probably we can interact. You can share your thoughts as well and third party risk or other slides. The third party risk, right? If you see this year, right, this decade, it is like people are giving 4th rank, but in the in 24 also, 34 also, after a decade also, this will continue. This risk will continue even another decade. The reason, right? The reasons, the impact, all that we'll see in the subsequent slide. First of all, I think we all know that what is third party risks. Third party risks. Third party risks is that the risk is coming from your third party. That is a simple way. Say for example, I think as I said in the beginning, right? So there is no company in the world which can operate without help of a third party. For example, let's take an example of service industry. Service industry, right? See your payroll, you would have seen when you go to your client site, your payroll would have outsourced. Okay, or your payroll, or you have your tax part you would have also outsourced. You have your auditors. your internal auditors or external auditors, or your accounts payable process you have outsourced, your accounts receivable process. If you take up startups, I think they outsource everything except their core operations. Because the big bookkeeping and all they give third party only. So even if you want to write an invoice, you need to give it to a third party email. So who will account your invoice and pay you? So that way, so startups are also outsourced. If you take up manufacturing, right? Manufacturing, especially the production side. Let's say you're manufacturing a scooter. So you can outsource or you can give it to a job worker, like where certain part, let's say wheels you don't have, or maybe some part of your bike, let's say handle, you don't have capability. Then you need to hire a third party who can manufacture that. So in that way, so third parties are involved in every company, almost every industry. That is why the risks are given high priority. You see, these are the type of third party risks, including the compliance risk. Compliance risk is a priority. So I think when you go to next time your clients, you ask them if you have, let's say you have taken your labor from some contractors, including your security, housekeeping, or your manpower, right? How do they manage their their compliances? For me, like wherever I go, wherever I do the audit, this is like one of the observations which will come in almost all the companies, where we don't monitor the contractor compliances. Whether the contractor would have deployed the workers in our premises, whether he is paying his PF, ESI, PT. So if he's not paying the ESI, PF, right, as a principal employer, we are responsible. I think that is what your CLR Act. So I think CLR Act says that you have certain compliances as a contractor, you need to comply certain compliances, as a principal employer, you need to comply. So one of the compliances is that if the contractor is not paying his statutory dues, including your PF, ESI, now you need to pay as a principal employer. So this is one of the major risks. Then we discuss now cyber and data breach. So if you don't have if you are onboarding a third party who does not have much experience or controls and your IT network, IT or cyber side, right, definitely you lose your data. So that is another risk of onboarding a third party. Then you have your reputational risk. So obviously, if the scooter example, right? If I outsource manufacturing of let's say tire, the handle of a scooter, the other person that if he doesn't do his work properly, definitely you lose your money, you lose your reputation in the market. So that way, reputation is another risk where because of this third party risk, then you will have your service interruption. If other person is not doing your work properly, you will have to stop your business. Say then your finance, of course, everything will go to your financial stuff. Then your trade secrets. I think it's trade secret, right? You see, LinkedIn's or WhatsApp. If you have connected some CFOs at board members, right? They post everything in Insta or LinkedIn or in WhatsApp status. Like let's say they're concluded a meeting, let's say some board meeting. They take a selfie, say that okay, Q2 board meeting is done. So behind you can see the company name, the complete logos, all that. Our auditors also, when we go to, I've seen this, like they have completed audit company for Q2. So it will go into Insta also. I'm not sure why the corporate things people are posting on Insta or Facebook. So you have a meeting with let's say some investors, then there is selfie, like saying that okay, done a meeting with investors today. Which means that you are certain things, right? This information is enough for people to identify like what is happening in your company. So I don't know, people do it knowingly or unknowingly because these things are done by at a high level people only, C-suite management, CFOs are at a partner level. I think when I see this post, I feel like okay, I came to know something from this company, but I think that is not a good practice.
So, but they are supposed to, in case they conduct this investor meet or thing, they are supposed to host it in the website.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's say.
Anyway, it's going to be.
So if it is public, you can do it. I mean, let's say now we are attending the event here. I know if you go for some event or some, probably we can post that. That's how we can market yourself. But certain things, right, where you are not supposed to post. So when you are posting, right, you should be careful. Like especially auditors will post where they take a picture behind there's a company name. So I think those things, if it is required, for your purpose, let's say personal purpose, we can do it. But when you're posting these things, we need to ensure that we are not leaking something, the other people should not know. So for listed companies, you will have a lot of restrictions. Like you should not tell others before you tell your SAB, or before you file your the update on the quarterly returns and all that. So that's where these are people do it sometimes by mistake, but people will know that there are things that what are things that are happening in their companies. So now what do we do with these risks? So these are the risks because of third parties, but as a company, as an auditor, what do we do? So you need to have a strategy, like you need to do a risk assessment before you onboard a vendor. In fact, recently we onboarded a company. They onboarded us. We got an assignment from a big company. It's an IT company. So trust me, they have sent a questionnaire to us before they onboard, before they create vendor code for us, right? They have sent a questionnaire. They asked us to fill, and they asked us to give the supporting documents. The questionnaire has some 250 questions. So it is like, for me, I told that I need to charge for this also, because there's 250 questions I need to sit, fill, and I need to give them, the documents also. Let's say, for example, there are some questions you have, what you have done on ESG. Then I need to get the documents. If I don't, they'll say like you are not competent to do business with us. So I cannot ignore. At the same time, if I want to get that, I need to spend a lot of time. I think that's good in a way. So because they are ensuring that they are doing proper risk assessment and vendor due diligence. That is very much important now, because we cannot onboard, especially the big companies. They cannot onboard just like if you don't have proper control, because it will lead to other controls. Let's say the compliance risk. Compliance risk, the first one, right? Where if you're how good you are paying your PF or you're paying salaries to your employees, minimum wages. Definitely they need to ensure. So if I want to onboard, let's say some 600 workers from you, if you don't complain, because that liability will come to me. So that's why I think we need to have a proper risk assessment and vendor due diligence before we onboard the vendor. Then the contractual protection. I think if you have seen any of your manpower consultant agreements, I think you would have seen right there. I have seen companies where they are having one page agreement. In that nothing will be there. It's like only 2-3 terms and conditions will be there. The price, this stuff will be there. But when you have this kind of contracts, agreements, definitely it's a problem for you. You cannot, if you want to audit their books, definitely you cannot go and audit it. So legally, if there is a dispute or there is some issue with them, so definitely you cannot pursue if you don't have proper agreement or terms and conditions. That's why the contractual terms is very much important when we onboard any party. Then ongoing monitoring is like your audits. So nowadays many companies do half-yearly audit or quarterly audit. See that for the major vendors. Like say if you are giving your 90% of your operations to one vendor, right? We will have to do their audit. Let's say once periodically, that can be half-yearly or yearly, so that you will come to know what kind of controls they have, how you are protected because of these activities. Then the other one is a single vendor. I think this is more of, I've seen a startup where people are doing some audit for them. They are given complete except their core operations, everything, bookkeeping, the CMO functions, MIS, preparing MIS, returns, everything is with one consultant. Maybe not sure why they are given only one consultant. After some time, right, the consultant was leaving. He wanted to leave immediately because maybe he had some issues with the management. He wanted to leave. Then you would have seen the management situation, because they don't have anything in their control. So everything is maintained by the consultant. Complete the invoices, the papers, accounting. So it was very difficult, for the company to take over the complete work from the single vendor. So that's why if you have a single vendor, it's very difficult to manage things at our company level.
Sir, but this is happening in case of banks. Most of the banks are depending on Infosys, Pinnacle. So single vendor.
So that is only for IT.
IT, yes.
IT.
That's a major. Any bank functions because of IT.
So only IT. So apart in banks, apart from IT, you have other functions.
But if the IT person leaves, then Infosys collapses. They will not be able to do any, or they will not be able to do any of their operations.
Definitely, that's why I say when this is like one specific function. So IT, right? IT. See, if you want to develop one software, customized software. This software we cannot give to multiple people. Yes. So I cannot onboard Infosys and Wipro. Maybe for one software I can onboard Infosys. Another software, another solution, if I can onboard Wipro, for example. So in that way you are balanced. So in IT, yeah, if it's, you're right. So Infosys, if you everything to Infosys, you'll be in trouble, for example. But you give, let's say, one software to Infosys, other solutions, other software to another company.
But people always want to be integrated. If you have another software, another person, software vendor, then
That will be definitely a risk. That will be different. That's why I think, so you said Infosys. Banks, that's why there's a risk. If they are taking risk, they are going for, they not go for mid-size IT companies. They go with, let's say, Infosys and Wipro, where known companies. So that trusted brands. That's why that's where your brand comes. So there is still there's a risk. It's a brand. Yes.
What about Microsoft, where which has got a monopoly? All the companies are using Excel or something. It is not a threat to anybody.
I don't have any answer here. it's not a
Without
threat
Excel,
testing.
I think many of the functions cannot run the way CA practice specifically.
Yes, but here again he is not our third party. You are right in a way, but he is not our third party because if you are paying money, yes, you have your 365, your Excel, you are paying money, but you don't have any alternative. So we have any alternative here. So in case your IT, we have alternatives. If not Infosys, we have Wipro. We can onboard for one software, Infosys, another software for Wipro. But here, I think we don't have any options unless if you are using some analytics tools.
So there is open office is there. So if Microsoft fails, open office can take over.
See, for Google also there are, let's say, you have DuckDuck. There is one, again search engine, for example. I'm not talking about Microsoft, maybe probably the search engine like Google. So you have Google, we have others also like, your Windows, then DuckDuck. There are 3-4, other search engines also, but we don't use that. So I have tried that DuckDuck, it was not so optimal, so I
Once we are into technology, we get dependent on that. That is the way they do the business renewal fees.
Yeah.
This fees. So once we are addicted to that.
Yeah. So maybe if they're monopoly, then you don't have an option.
I think if we follow the steps which we have to discuss this kind vendor to vendor, then come to the single vendor. So if you have done all this for the vendor before giving major chunk, you would have covered majority of the risks.
Yeah, that's also a good point because you would have covered all that because how do you do vendor assessment? We will have all that whether he is strong enough to support if there is an emergency, he is strong enough, financially strong. Contractual terms. This is one more, let's say, Infosys it is leaving, right? Maybe that's where we would have ensured that was you cannot leave immediately because you need to serve, you need to do these things and leave or hand over properly and leave. That's where your contractual, terms will play a major role. But nevertheless, you will have options, but ITM. But I think Microsoft is something which is unique.
Apart from that, even income tax website is a good example where they have outsourced that to
Infosys.
GST.
Yeah, probably they would have ensured all the 5 steps before. So they would have ensured, all the 5 steps. There is here also the tricky points because they can give only to one vendor. So, if I'm an Infosys guy, right, I will not agree with another vendor. So if you give, let's say, you take this IT website, completely you develop it, you need to develop along with Wipro. And so why do I do that? I am number one. So Wipro also said I am also number one. So that's where you have to give it, for one solution here. But we'll take an example like for audits. Let's say, people can onboard 2-3 audits. For example, 2-3 auditors. Let's say, internal audit. If you take, I heard that one company, right? They onboard one auditor for one area. If you want to do P2 audit, they'll onboard one auditor. So, under revenue cycle, they'll do it for another auditor. So that way, certain functions can be managed, certain functions, obviously you're right, we have to do it for one, but you need to ensure the 5 steps, including your risk assessment, contractual stuff, all that. So in that way, you are secured in a way. Yes. So the other one is your incidents plan. Then you can also use some TRP tools to manage, your third-party risks basically. So this is again IT side. You can automate basically your third-party risk management. So I think this is about third-party stuff where why it is important and what are the things that we can take. So the next one is economic conditions. As I said, no, so in the Game of Thrones, one episode will run in like a snow area, then another episode will directly go to the desert, where people will, the complete episode will be on, the desert side or mountains. Similarly, like say we have seen the cyber threats and then third party risk. Now we are coming to economic conditions. So before we go here, I have a doubt. Maybe you can clarify. Water crisis in Bangalore is an economic conditions or not? So we have Bangalore, right? I think in this Game of Thrones, because I'm referring Game of Thrones many, a couple of times, because the episode starts with like winter is coming, winter is coming. But in Bangalore, right, from December onwards, you should start with, summer is coming, then you need to store all, we need to keep our water storage properly, otherwise you'll have a lot of problem with the water. Now, water storage in Bangalore, if it continues like this only, so will it be a serious economic condition where you need to consider, or maybe corporates can consider?
I mean, if the situation worsens, then there are good chances that companies or people may go out of Bangalore, which will actually bring down the economic activities of Bangalore, and that will be the consequence. I think.
Exactly, 100%.
Lakes, preserving our nature, organization need to be stopped at some point of time. These things need to be implemented. Otherwise, will be
Absolutely right. Yes.
So I think this type of situation is very temporary.
Yeah, temporary. But if it continues,
3-4 years if it happens, then they will last.
continue. Yeah.
only people who will be happy is the tanker people.
You can apply his supply and demand, and you can increase the price. So also, let's say if you want to, you have a factory in let's say Sarjapur or somewhere Whitefield, then you definitely, if you without water, definitely you cannot run your factory. So that will, if it continues in the long term, definitely this will become a serious concern where the government might lose revenue, because companies companies will move out, employees will move out, they'll relocate. Definitely it is an impact. Similarly, like say we'll see few recent the events that have happened, which impacted all the companies, all the corporates. Again, yeah, we discussed this. I think it's people are giving first priority in this year. So maybe it may come down in after a decade. Maybe because it will not come down because other risks have taken first rank. Say cyber threats, because of the technology that they have, the cyber threats have taken first rank. So let's go on to some of the.
Apart from economic conditions, even these geopolitical wars and other things will also impact people.
Definitely. So
People suddenly became homeless because of wars.
yeah, homeless. We have a couple of slides on this. So if you see, I think this photo, right? I mean, I don't have. I'm not a fan of any party, but you can.
Has changed the economy of Maldives.
Maldives, also Lakshadweep. So here our objective is that, let's say if you were a CEO of let's say you have a company in Maldives and you have a company in Lakshadweep, or you are a CFO of that company, or you are an auditor of that company, right? So what do? See, you slept in the night, in the morning when you see your mobile, there is a photo like this. So how do you react for these situations? How do you assess this? What can happen because of this? Immediately you cannot assess, but definitely you need to have certain plans for this kind of instances. You imagine if you have a company in the Maldives, how much loss they would have incurred. So it impacted your tourism, your hospitality, your flight fares. At the same time, that is negative side of Maldives, but you take positive side of Lakshadweep. So if I am an auditor of, let's say, a Maldives company, definitely I'll ask the question about going concern. So, because I don't know, like the situation may be that time temporary, but now it is solved. You see that these are the certain, immediate things that have happened. So, 40% decline in daily bookings to Maldives. So, online search for travel to Lakshadweep gone up by 3,000%. Not 3,000%. So everyone now wants to go to Lakshadweep instead of Maldives. Then some these are only tentative figures, like say some 10,000 plus hotel bookings are cancelled. So here, right, this is the impact. But now, how do we ensure that as an auditor, as a consultant, or as a CFO, like how do we assess these things? How do we take the protective measures, those things are very important for us. Let's see a few more examples. Yeah, here is the we had a lot of sessions, or if you open the newspaper, you will see something on this. Okay, the Sri Lankan crisis, not now, maybe those times. Sri Lankan crisis or your war between this war, like it was there almost like a test match. I've started a couple of audits. I saw a news that okay, the war might start. Then I completed my audit. Again, still war is going on. Actually, I've done one more audit. Still war is on. So the never-ending war. So yeah, other one is coronavirus. I think coronavirus going to explain. We all know like how the corona, why this COVID has changed our lives. I don't know corporate working styles. We'll discuss on that. So these are the certain impacts. So because of this crisis, it impacted even India also, like including our imports and exports. There is it disturbed your supply chain management. So you have other at the same time you have some demand for other industries. Like say when the Sri Lankan crisis happened, right? They are supposed to supply certain exports, including your cashew nuts, dry fruit side. So they are able to supply. So now the demand, right? They cannot supply now. So the orders came to our India. So the industry of this dry fruits, right? It picked up. So then now instead of Sri Lanka is supplying them, we have supplied it. So that way there are some positive stuff, also there are negative stuff also. So but now let it be whatever the stuff, but we'll see like how we can protect from these kind of economic events. Again, these are some certain other events where now we are moving from 5G to 6G. You take an example of BSNL. BSNL, right? They have struggled a lot to deploy their 4G. Now recently, I think the new CEO he announced that okay, we are equipped with 4G. So now immediately on the next day I saw this news where people are coming up 6G. So what do we do now? again, all the mobiles will stop working after some time because you need to upgrade to 6G. So I heard that some 10 movies can be downloaded in 1 second if you go for 6G. So that is the impact of 6G. Obviously, it impacts all your tech industries now. Again, our elections also, right? Elections again is a major concern. That's why 2024, the board, the CFO would have felt that okay, since if there is a change in the government, definitely there are change in the laws, regulations. So this is also one of the economic conditions for us. The third one, right? World Cup. World Cup final was in Ahmedabad. I think most of us would have observed. The prices, right, on the day of World Cup, the hotel prices, though generally they're charging like some 3,000, 4,000, but that day it went up to 1 lakh and 2 lakh. So for one night to stay in the hotel. So these are but here, okay, let it be this, but if I have a hotel there, if I am editor of that hotel, how do I take care? What are the things that I do? Similarly, the Silicon Valley Bank, I think you would have heard this story, right? There was, I think they went some bankrupt, or they had some issue. But this is in US. US bank went into bankrupt, but there is impact in India also because many investors are coming from Silicon Valley Bank. We have deposited immediately. So what we did from our side, right? We inquired with all our clients whether have you deposited any money with your Silicon Valley Bank. If you are MNC, right? If you have operations in US, definitely you have deposited some amount with Silicon Valley Bank. Definitely we need to comment on those deposits because you will not get those amounts, right? So immediately we need to take certain steps. We'll discuss those things. Yeah. So these are the things that the companies can avail. Like say when there is an incident, when there is a economic stuff, right? Immediately we need to assess the impact, like what can go wrong. Then what is your financial strength? What we can stop? What we can, what we can do? Like what we can give? The money flow, especially. Then we need to have some strategies. Though it is like the regular stuff, but these are the important things. Then the customer focus. Let's say if you are an insurance company, right? Recently there is rain in Dubai. You see that it's like normal rain only, but for them it takes like kind of tufan or floods. The cars are floating. What is the impact of that? which industry, because of this flood, which industries got impacted? Insurance company. So in the next day there is a big queue in front of insurance company. So because your car is now damaged, they'll go for insurance. You lost something, they'll go for insurance. So this is a right insurance, like they'll have a lot of times, their ratio will go up. So that is like you need to focus, which customers you need to focus, you need to take a call based on your next of business, next of event. Then you need to see when you take a decision, right? You need to see that how you are taking decision, on what basis, what is the data. So these are the things that we can ensure if there is any economic condition which is impacting your business or your client. Okay, so any inputs here, or we'll move on to the next topic, which is our manpower attraction and retention. So here, right, this is very generic topic which I think everyone knows other things, right? So what do you think that why people leave, why companies are facing challenges to attract employees? So any inputs, any why people struggle a lot to retain their talent?
There are many credentials.
Yeah. So any other reasons why people leave basically the companies? I'll give an example where I've seen a company where if you for new joinees, right, they give iPhones. The moment you join, they give iPhones. They have I think we used to do audit called benefit audits for that company where they have a lot of benefits. If you want to go for gym, you go, we'll give some amount. You join, we'll give joining bonus, we'll give iPhone. Then you take laptop, whatever you want. Okay, you have some health issue, we have some benefit. Okay, for your child, we have some benefit. So we used to do relocation benefits. You want to go trip, vacation allowance. So we used to do like some 10 to 15 days audit only on these benefits. But still their retention ratio is not so good. People people are leaving. So now you can see that what is the major reason why people leave. Right?
Job satisfaction.
Yeah, job satisfaction. Again, if you don't have job satisfaction, you will leave. But what do we do? So in these cases, like what are the things that company can do this? Also, so I'll give an example of this. I think 1 week back, if you are watching IPL, right, there is an incident with KL Rahul and the owner. You would have seen the picture, right? So also there is one trend. Yeah, yesterday I think 2 days back. So there is one video on LinkedIn. Where some Axis Bank LinkedIn, you have seen that the salesperson, right, he was shouting at the employees. I think most of you have seen if you are following Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. It was in the con call, the MS Teams call where he was literally shouting to like how you shout on the roadside person, right? That way he was shouting. So when I saw that video, then I literally got scared and I felt happy also because I don't have this kind of boss. So when you have this kind of culture, definitely people may not stay with you for a long time. So I think if you ask me, I think we need to respect people, respect your employees. You need to understand their needs, what do they need. So accordingly, we need to implement our strategies. That can be like, I have few things here which we all know, but nevertheless we'll discuss. One is that you have your, you need to have your positive work culture. Positive work culture, then you need to have your competitive package. You need to provide some L&D stuff where, let's say, I want to do some CFE. I think I've done like that only. So when I want to do CFE, my firm offered me exam fee. So they reimbursed my exam fee. That's why I've done my CFE and the CISA. So I stayed a couple of years in that firm. So in that way, so you need to understand the employee needs and the skills that you can help them, definitely will support you. Then work-life balance, I think this is the major concern for nowadays. For us, work-life balance.
It's a misnomer.
Sorry?
The work-life balance is a misnomer. If there is work, there is life.
So sometimes I don't know whether we are living for working or working for living. So we work, especially I've seen some big companies where they work even Saturdays and Sundays also. So when you call them, they say that I'm on call, I have a meeting. So I literally misunderstood, like, are you living for working or working for living? So so then you have only work, you don't have life.
No, they are not seeing the other side of people who are unemployed.
Exactly. So if you work, then you will get more work. So I think this is the trending term nowadays, like where if you don't have, I think you ask actually when your employees are living, right? If you ask them, they'll give two reasons. They'll hide the actual reasons, but they'll give two reasons. One is that I have better opportunity, better growth, and second one is work-life balance. This many people, yeah. So. Yeah, both are correct, but I think when this is a better opportunity, I think that the better opportunity can be your package or your position or your job satisfaction. If we can ensure that, I think people will stay for a long time. Yeah, so also we can invest in technology. Yeah, technology side, right? If you want to find the right skill, let's say as we discussed in the first slide, right? The things have changed from last generation now, where we have moved from manual stuff to automated stuff now. Okay, so when we are in this digital era, I think we need to have the skills which matches the requirements. So finding those skills are very difficult. I think that's why we need to use certain HR tools where we can find this the right people, right set of skills, then retain them. So and in a nutshell, I would say that give respect. Also, understand the employee needs and supporting. You will have your employees with you. I had one case, like when I called my friend and I asked him, can you join my company? Now he told me one thing, no, I cannot join now, though my salary is less. But when I had my some problem, let's say family problem, my partner called me and he assisted me. He gave me leave. He helped me in terms of finance. He helped me in giving some money. So he said, like, I don't want to leave this company. So when I was in trouble, they helped me when I want to stay. So if you understand, then definitely they'll stay with you. That's about manpower. Yeah. So now we'll go on to the compliance review mechanism. I think this is one of the major topic for us. Yeah. So before we go to this compliance mechanism, any idea how many acts are there in India? How many regulations are there in India? Just any count, random count. 5,000. 5,000 plus. So any count or any approximate figure, how many acts we have in India? 10,000? 1 lakh? Unless I also don't know, I asked Google. So this is the extract from Google. Google says that we have some 1,002. This is, if you see that, it is as of January 2017. Now, so Google also, doesn't have updated info. I asked ChatGPT, Gemini, Google Gemini. It says that you look for search in Google. It's asking me to the ChatGPT is not giving the exact count. It is advising me to search in Google. So when you Google it, this is the figure, which means that if you see here, only in India, that too, it was in 2017, we have 1,000 plus acts. Okay, how do we comply with this? Now, if you are a company, how do you identify how many acts are applicable for you? If you are an individual, right, how do you know that what kind of rules you need to comply? So it's so complex, right? Imagine that, okay, you have a company in India, that in multiple states. Now we are, our culture is such that, okay, we have multiple states, multiple cultures. Similarly, you have multiple acts also. So even if you take up your CLR Act, your Staff State Assessment Act, you have state-wise acts also. So your central acts, so states acts. Then you have operations, let's say, in a couple of countries. You have office in USA, Philippines, Dubai. Then how many acts are applicable for you? How do you ensure that? How complex this is? So here, how do we ensure that? So any ideas on how we can identify these acts? How do we ensure that? How we are compliant with all the acts and regulations? maybe we'll discuss that in these slides. This is a slide where I just went to Google and see, I've seen that what are the penalties, that major penalties that they have levied. So if you see like Facebook, right? Facebook, for data privacy violation, they've levied around some $5 billion USD. So I don't know if I convert that into rupees, it will be like one big size country of GDP or revenue. So these are the penalties. It's not only penalty, right? These are the some handpicked. You can go to Google, you can find all this. But sometimes you lose your revenue. You need to close your business. Take an example of Paytm. Paytm, I think we all know, right, what with Paytm, that there are some RBI issues. Again, it comes in the same bucket. So you need to close the companies also. These are the few examples like where if you don't comply with the penalty, the severity, the impact, the risk of your penalties. You need to end up paying like $5 billion, $4.3 billion. So again, these are certain examples where, let's say, so many companies have closed because of non-compliance with the Companies Act. Paytm is the best example. The other one is like Vodafone. I think it's there from long time. Let's say, at least when I was studying my CA, the case was it was there in our exams. Like what is the impact of this Vodafone, how it happened, all that. So these are certain examples. If you don't follow your regulations, what can happen? Right, so and again NSE, they've given notice for many companies where for non-compliance, 250 companies, your Competition Act, right? There's an act called Competition Act, CC. So they have given, you see the penalty, like 6,000 crores, 2,000 crores, 250 crores. It's like very big penalty that companies have to pay. Okay, so alright, so if we all know, like if you don't follow the acts, what can happen, but what we can do, like if you're doing an audit of a company, or if you're CFO of a company, what are the things that we can implement is these are the things. Like the first one is like we need to assess the list of acts or regulations are applicable for my company or my location. So if you are doing an audit also, you should have a fair idea about like what are the things are applicable, the GST or ITST or CGST or the VAT is not there. So we need to do companies need to do a thorough assessment, like the applicability of the laws and regulations. The next one, right here, where you need to manage those acts. Let's say you have identified there are some 100 acts are applicable. Under that act, what are the compliances? So how do we track those acts? It's best way like you should have your Excel sheet if it is a small company, or you should apply a tool. There are a lot of compliance tools nowadays in the market. So where you can deploy, they will do assessment for you. They identify what are the acts are applicable, either in India or other side, outside countries also. Then we can also manage all the compliance in the same tool. So once you have this tool, probably the third one is like we need to comply with this. Let's say you have identified in PF there are some 10 compliances that we need to follow. So one is that your monthly returns and the quarterly returns, annual returns. But we need to ensure that people are being followed these the compliances. How do we do that? We need to assign, again, we should have accountability. Next, these people are responsible for these compliances. In the tool, right, we can tag to those people that okay, this X person is responsible for these 5 compliances, Y person is responsible for these 10 compliances. Then also the fourth one, right, we need to manage, if there is change in the act, we need to immediately implement those changes. If not, otherwise, you will have again same consequences. The other best practices are like you should have some confirmation. You can implement. I see this from many companies where they take confirmation from the respective departments. Let's say you are head of procurement, you are head of finance. Then the legal team, right? They take a confirmation letter from the department head saying that you are compliant with all the acts. That is one good practice. Also, you can define KPIs. Let's say if you default, if you don't comply with these many compliances, this is your penalty, or maybe it impact your appraisals or appraisals or increments. So you can define KPIs for this. Also, like you should have even if you set up all this, but if you don't report this to management, that people feel that okay, they find that okay, yeah, I've not complied, but if there is no consequences for this, if you are not reporting this, if management is not looking at your non-compliances, definitely people may not follow this. That's why I think we should have a practice where these non-compliances are compliances. Both the things we can report to audit committee or board. So if you have this process, I'm sure that okay, that is like setting your tone at the top. If board or audit committee, if they are looking at your compliances so seriously, definitely the middle level management and lower level management definitely will follow this. So I've seen this. We have recommended this. Many companies. It is working very well. The reporting mechanism. Also the new regulations. Let's say I'm not sure how many of are prepared for the new labor law which is coming up. I mean like they've drafted from long back. They say that next year will come. Definitely will come someday. But what are the changes that are proposed in labor law, the new labor law code? How it impacts our business? How it impacts our business? How you've taken some precautionary measures? I think if you not those are things which the management or even as a consultant you need to look at it. The DPDP. So DPDP is nowadays the data protection, right? It's going to become very serious. Like now if you want to take your employee details, right, like your Aadhaar card, PAN card, definitely you need to take approval or consent from the employee. Otherwise you are not supposed to show that. That's the main purpose of the DPDP. So we have already something called your SOX or your GDP or GDP regulations in Europe. It is similar to that, but yeah, we have started implementing DPDP also. The other one is like trainings. Even if you have all this, if you don't give at least trainings for your employees, and I'm sure that you will not get better compliance mechanism. So take an example, let's say CLRA or e-waste management. I think wherever I have audited my clients, many of the employees or many of the clients, they are not aware of e-waste management act. Leave it to compliances, they don't know that there is an act called e-waste management. They think of the compliance with e-waste management. Similarly, CLRA, the contract labor regulations, right? The major of the companies whether they are not aware or they are aware of limited things. That the retail compliance they are not aware. So which is like posing high risks. So the trainings will help the team to at least understand, okay, these are the acts are applicable for us, these are the complaints are applicable for us, these are the severe risks that we face in the future. So otherwise, it's very difficult to maintain your compliance mechanism. So also, if you see that many companies, right, they for trainings they implement software wherein like they'll tag to your department or employees course like you need to complete these are the 5 mandatory trainings or 10 mandatory trainings. Yes, trainings. Like that, those are online classes. Like here you are attending your place asking questions or you are understanding some stuff here. But if you go for this, at least I have done my side. In my company also I have some online trainings where to complete trainings. See, if I don't have time, what I do is I may not listen the complete training. Let's say for example, cost you have it. So directly I go for the questions. Where if you complete this training, you need to answer some questions. You will get some marks, right? And if you clear some 80%, then you will be marked as you completed the training. But these trainings are good. But anyway, I feel that people are not really learning things. So take an example, honestly, I didn't read anything. Directly I didn't even listen. I went to directly the questionnaire. I answered the questions. I got marked. I completed. The course was marked as you have completed. Congratulations. Then what is that I'm going to learn? Similarly, you have seen that cyber threats, right? Cyber threats, there also you have seen that training. Training is required there also. There also if you give like online trainings where you need to do some courses, if you are interested, maybe you can go through the training and you can learn. Otherwise, people simply skip because of the time, then they will go for questions. Then either they will answer it or they will not answer it. So finally, you will not learn anything. So I feel like trainings also should be appropriate where people should learn something from your trainings. Yeah. I think yes.
The way you said, you already know the answers. That means you already have a knowledge. The training will not give additional knowledge to you.
So either I know or maybe let's say there's a question and pause. I go to ChatGPT, I go to Google, I get answers.
But
I don't listen 1 hour training.
Doesn't matter, but you have learned that on the points you have learned.
Yes. So
not through the training but through the ChatGPT.
You learn only the 4 or 5 questions, but you will miss 1 hour training sessions. Why it is important? Maybe they'll ask you, let's say, for example, first activity, like what is the return that you need to file? That's the question. but I can get that Google also. Random tagging, there are 4 options or 2 options. Yes or no, I can click one and it will be correct. So, but if you listen to the training, then you learn like why it is important, consequences are there. I think we are almost, we have another 15 minutes, so we will go to now NFRA, I think which is our climax. So, yeah, I think NFRA, we are all, as I said in the beginning, it's like audit and audit, audit for auditor. Then let's see, what is this NFRA? I think we are aware that NFRA is a central government entity where they formed these organizations just to have, to maintain the quality of the audits or quality of the work done by the consultants. If you see, these are the 4 major functions, functions by NFRA. So one is that recommend audit, accounting or auditing policies or standards. Though they don't create any standards. We have our ICA or other bodies to create or to develop standards. But these people, right, NFRA can recommend those policies or standards. Also, you need to maintain to monitor compliances with the accounting and auditing standards. I think this is very much important for us. The third one is the quality of the service of the professionals. So I think these 2 factors, these 2 functions, they are doing really well. We'll see like how and why. Then the other one is like perform other functions which is required by them. And it is found by it is established in 2018 by government. Objective is that to oversee the quality and quality of the work done by our consultants and professionals.
Sir, when they say financial reporting, do they review the functioning of the directors also?
Sorry, directors?
Do they review the functioning of the directors also?
No, functioning of the directors they don't review.
Because ultimately the reporting is done by the directors.
No, it's
the audit is an independent opinion.
It is for the professionals. So it's not for, let's say, if you're doing audit of say Wipro or Infosys, this the NFRA can come and audit you because you've done the audit for them. They can come and ask you should take how you done this audit, what are the work papers, have you followed your standards or not. But they will not question the directors of Infosys, for example. So, but again, there is indirect impact. We'll discuss. So the reason, let's say, we'll discuss why there is indirect impact. So all this, the central government, right, including your income tax department, SEBI, NCA, your ROC, all these are central government departments. NFRA also, it is found by them. It's like the data, right? It's like moving from one packet to another packet. Simple. See, many of the cases, right? The so-called notices given by NFRA, right? Because they got the information from SEBI or income tax department. That's how they started investigating. Also, they have right to do self like sumoto. Sumoto, they can initiate if they feel that okay, particular consultant is auditor is not doing proper work or they have some doubts on a particular company. Definitely, they can initiate on their own, or they can take information from SEBI or MCA or ROs or income tax department. Then they can start the investigation. I think we have other slides here. I think this NFRA rules are applicable. This is applicable date, so it is applicable for your listed entities, your unlisted companies. Again, there is a cap. Your paid up capital turnover 500% per side. So for unlisted companies, there is a cap. Then other companies like your special companies, including your insurance, banks, NBFCs, electricity, for all this also the NFRA is very much applicable, though it is ruled by governments. Then if you were subsidiary or associate of your parent company, still the NFRA regulations are applicable for those companies. And the last one is very dangerous, where it says that interest of the public are reference made by the central government. So when it comes to public interest, everything is public interest. So even if certain companies are not covered in these 4-5 sections, but it is covered in the last section. So this is the applicability of NFRA for the organizations. So if you don't follow your regulations, if the NFRA finds that okay you are defaulted certain standards or your ICA standards, you have not followed, your quality is not up to the mark, then these are the penalties. Penalties are like, for individuals, maximum, it will go minimum is 1 lakh and maximum it goes up to 5 times of your fees that you are charged for the client. In case of firm, again minimum is 5 lakhs, then maximum it goes 10 times. I think this is okay, like, fine, people can pay, but if you see the next one, it's like, debarring, they can debar, the firm or CA not to accept any other engagements from 6 months to 10 years. So if this happens, right, if you recollect our, movie, I think the KGF, if you've seen KGF movie or, Bahubali or Salar, right? Salar, if you've seen these movies, it's like, the hero protects always his network or his kingdom. Bahubali movie is about that, the KGF movie, right? So if hero, the character hero is not there, the entire network will collapse. Similarly, right, in our case, the CA particular CA or the consultant, you would have developed our network from the day one of our articleship. See, from not in articleship, even before that, we would have built our connects, we would have built our network, our reputation. If one order you will, if they debar from you not to accept any other engagements, you will collapse, all your network. Correct. So you would have struggled a lot to develop our reputation and network in the market. With this one order, you lose complete your network. So that is the impact of this NFRA. That is why people are scared. Not because of penalties, because of the debar, debar and not giving your not to accept any other engagements from the corporates. Also, right here, it is like one part. If you go to other, maybe I'll go to the next slide. Yeah. You can see here, right? The worst part is, let's see, we can pay penalty, maybe we can have that, but they will disclose. If you go to NFRA website, right? I have in the first slide, the screenshot is like if you go there, there's a section called orders and debars. If you can go there, you can find out the detailed study of the, with the names of chartered accountants, firms names, including their membership number, what they've done. That is like, kind of embarrassing for everyone, right? So I don't know. Let's say, for example, if there is an investigation on my name, you got to know that you are a CFO of a company. So that if there is an investigation, I got some penalty or will you do a business? Definite answer is no. So it impacts the reputation of the company. The other part is that if you can see that they are copying to the second one, the order, right? One they give a notice and they complete the investigation, right? They give this investigation part, what is that they publish in the website, then they give this order to the multiple bodies. You see the SEBI, ROC, MCA, IT, the companies. So when they give this kind of information to others, you are not only leaking your inefficiencies, right? That you have not complied your quality or standards. Also the company, right? Company is also will be in trouble because now SEBI can go and investigate on their company also. The other part, right? If you can see the last slide, where there is a barcode. You can scan that, and you will get the complete case, the detailed history of the order, including CA name, firm name. So this is the worst part, like where if you get a notice from NFRA. So apart from your penalties, your debarring from the activities, these other things can happen. So I think I remember one of my CA teacher, CA faculty was saying that about casting paper. Mahesh, if you see a casting paper, right, even if you sit in the AC room, you will get sweat. But I think if you get a notice from NFRA, even you can sit in the fridge, you will get a sweat. So that is the kind of notice that they are giving nowadays. So let's see few cases on NFRA. So there are many cases. If you go to the website and I have shown here. There is one button called orders and debars. You can find out detailed studies on investigations. But these are the few things which I have picked up just to tell you like how it is impacting the professionals. The first one, right, it is like Man Industries. So I am not giving a purpose for the CA name because these are fellow CA. Also, we can find their names or firm names in the website. So here, right, the man list is it's about statutory audit. Here, right, the point is SEBI has given information to NFRA to investigate on this audit. You see now, so the third one, right, the PESCA, it is about deductions under 80JJA. Certificate, CA has given a certificate under 80JJA. It is not even audit. Income tax department has given information to NFRA to investigate on this matter. So which means, as I said, now so data moving from one packet to other packet is very easy. Let's discuss the man industries. The man industries, I think this man, our child accountant. So when they issue the showcase notice, right, they have found certain deficiencies. So wherein the CA, right, the deficiencies like here, they have not done physical verification for a manufacturing industry, then they have concluded their audit. Also, they have not disclosed their impairment loss. So they don't have proper documents for their audit planning or whatever they have concluded, right? Planning, execution. So they have not maintained appropriate work papers for this. If that is the case, then you imagine that how the CA has given the proper report and he has signed on the financials. The second one, right, the CA Industries may be our friend, our fellow colleague. He got a notice from NFRA, but he didn't even reply. So that's the best thing. You see his penalty, penalty is 20 lakhs and debarred for 10 years. So you imagine that if he is debarred for 10 years, I can't imagine that if they defer me, I don't know any other work apart from my work or my consulting. So it's very difficult, The third one, right, it is PESCA. Again, it's not an audit. It's like small certification work, which as per I think Income Tax Act, if you want to claim a deduction under 80JJA, right, where you want to if you apply some additional manpower, you will have some deduction. For that, you need to have some C certificate. CA certified this. Again, the income tax said that okay, it is not appropriate. When they asked NFRA to investigate, they found that there are many deviations. Like say, he has not done. When you want to come up with a claim, right, you need to as the income tax, you have certain deductions, and you need to add certain things, you need to deduct certain things. But they have not done that properly, so they have not investigated properly. They have not raised proper questions. So again, the penalty is for this around 50 lakhs. So other one is bill care, right? If you see the first line where the statutory audits for financial year 14 and 15 and 15 and 16. So they are asking, they are giving showcase notices even for previous years. It's not for the recent years. I don't know if you ask me like 14 and 15, if they are asking now show us the documents or work papers how you done the audit now. I don't know how many firms we are maintaining those work papers. I myself have changed multiple companies from last 14 and 15. So it's very difficult from our side also to have the work papers. But nevertheless, yes, as per Companies Act, we need to maintain the 7 years all the work papers we need to have. I think in this bill care, right, 14 and 15, right, they replied, bill care and auditor, right, they replied to NFRA saying that we don't have work papers for 14 and 15 because it is already 7 years got over from 14 and 15, so we will not be able to provide. I think they have agreed with this. But remaining, right, 15 and 16, 16 and 17, they found a lot of deviations. That they are not following their standards. There is a disclosure. They are not disclosed properly as per the accounting standards. As I said, it is like your audit and audit. So NFRA is auditing your work papers. Like how do we review our team's work papers? Like say when you sit for a review with our team, right? We'll ask, have you done this check? Have you done this? Have you reviewed this? Have you done sufficient checks? Do you have work paper for this? Same thing. So they are also, if you ask them personally, right, they are not asking something out of the box. NFRA is asking simply, you've done this audit or you've done this work. You give me proper evidence that you have complied your accounting standards or you have done this work appropriately. Simple thing they are asking, but we don't have, many CAs, they don't have answers for those cases. Alright, so these are the few cases that I have taken up, but again, okay, but if you are getting, notices from NFRA, then you are levying penalties. But what are the things that we can take care as a CFO? So also I have a question here. Do you think that a partner, let's say, take an example of BK or the man industries, the partner who has signed on the financials, whether he has time to review all the work papers? Answer is no, because the partner cannot sit and review all the work papers. Whether you have done physical verification, have you documented it, he may not review all the work papers. He relies on his managers. Again, managers relies on their team, let's say articles or consultants. So if manager also may not have time to review all the all work papers of his team members. So it is more of your culture. If the article student is the person who is doing the physical the stuff at the end, right? If he has the control over the audit work papers, right? Then definitely you will have a control on this. Let's say if article student or the consultant who is doing the field work, if he doesn't know how to document the work paper, definitely you don't have a track. As a partner, right, I may ask a few questions on the end, how you have done this, at a high level questions, and I may sign on the financials, but I may not go on the details. But details, right, people also will not maintain. Let's say people, you have seen your teams, right, one person may maintain the proper work papers, other person he may not maintain the work papers. Right, you see that man industries, that they found that physical verification is not done. So I don't know, maybe they would have done. So if you see the physical verification, how do you do? So you take a paper, the printout, quantity as per your books and physical quantity. So you take the signatures once you complete your the verification. Probably this is now into a hard copy. So if you don't have practices, the practice to document or archive these work papers, definitely you will be in trouble. So that's why for this, to avoid this NFRA, we need to implement certain strategies. Let me go to the next slide. Yeah. So these are the approaches that we can follow to avoid any if you get a show cause notice from NFRA, or how to answer their queries, or to protect, to have your preventive control side. You can implement this. One is that you should have a culture at your organization level, not at at one person. Let's say one partner maintains proper work papers, other partner he doesn't care. Or other manager. So one manager, right, he reviews properly all the work papers, how you have done this physical verification, how you have classified his borrowings. He maintains proper work papers. Other manager, right, other team, they don't even care about your work papers. In that case, there is a problem with the organization culture. So that's why for every consultant firm, that can be a mid-size or big firms, you must have organization culture. You should drive this from the culture, from the top-down approach. Other one is like we can accept your engagements. It's one of our accounting standard or auditing standard. You need to accept engagements where you are capable of doing it. So I think if I'm doing internal audit, but if I don't know anything about ATJSA certification, but if I do some work, because if I sign on the certificate I get money, and definitely that is not going to work in the future. So you should accept the engagements where you are capable of doing the engagements. Again, as I said, you need to have detailed review. You need to ensure that you have followed all the standards and you have done appropriate due diligence. We have some standards, and let's say you need to do your due diligence and skepticism. You need to ask the right questions. If you feel that certain things are not going, there's nothing wrong in asking questions. You need to ask. You should have appropriate evidence. Let's say if you are concluding something, right? Let's say you're taking decision that there is no fraud in particular event. Why there is no fraud? You should have proper justification. That justification needs to be documented. Yeah. So other thing is your review and approvals. I think you have seen your peer reviews not only in the NFRA, right? So many cases where you will have reviews you would have done. In fact, if you go for any statutory audit or internal audit, right, we'll have a team call or in person, like in the meeting room, we'll review all the whatever the work is done. But the review and approvals will not document. I think it's very difficult to prove when you get a either peer review or NFRA, right? You say that I documented, but what is the proof? It's like evidence is everything in the court. Yeah. So if there is no evidence, I think we follow a rule. There is no document, there is no work. So always my team members, right, they'll come up with, let's say, it's a minimum wages act. So when I ask them questions like, so have you done? Have you ensured that company is paying wages, minimum wages as per the act? They say yes. then show the work paper. They show work paper. They say, yes sir, I have taken the, I have seen the notification. I have seen that everyone is within the line. But there is a work paper. So for that, if you ask me, you need to maintain a proper work paper saying that okay, this is the salary as per the company. This is the salary as per minimum wage. Yes, the difference is not there. It is there complying. So we should have this work paper. Then you should document it. So as I said again, documentation, right? In all of these cases, what we discussed, right? Man industries or bill care or Pest Corp, I'm sure that our CS, right? The partners definitely they would have done the job and they would have signed it. But again, the documentation. Let's say if you ask, NFRA is asking the audits done in 14 and 15 and 15, 16, almost some 5, 6, 7 years back. I cannot give you those documents now. Somebody would have done my articles, my articles would have done, or my some other employees would have done. They would have left the company. They would have left the firm. But how do I document those papers? How do I retrieve now? For that, I think you should have a documentation after the procedure. Wherein like once you complete the work, you should document it. You should store it properly so that you can archive. And if you archive properly, you can whenever you want, you can retrieve it. So I'll give an example wherein see we got a it's not from NFRA but one of the client where we have been doing the audit for them from almost some let's say 5-6 years. Then they got a notice from PF authorities saying that okay they have they have defaulted some PF amount. Trust me, the client, right? He asked us, boss, you guys are doing audit for this from 5-6 years. You have not identified this PF mistakes. If PF authority charging penalty, definitely I will charge you guys. That is the case which I had faced. Then what we have done is we went back to our work papers. Luckily we had a process wherein we need to store all the emails also, emails, communications, important emails, and not report. Then we had a software where we can upload all our documents. Then we went back to our work papers. Then I only found that where we had reported similar point. Then the same person, right, who was asking me that if I pay the penalty, then I will charge it to you because you are the auditor, you have not identified this. The same person has replied saying that okay, this is not a major issue because similar, it's very low risk point. We don't have to comply, so no other companies will comply this. Something like that he has replied. So then I had to show that okay, because you have identified, but you have replied, that's why you are removed from the report. Then we have safeguarded. So that's how if you have a proper procedure. To store your documents, then archive your documents, definitely you will be safeguarded. I think these majority of the cases, my assumption is that CS would have done, but you would have archived the papers, documents. That is the major problem that I see. So always, other one is your training and insurance. Training helps again. As I said, organization culture and training should go hand in hand. With your articles. The lowest level, the highest level, if they are aware of your culture, how to maintain the documents, definitely things will be in place. The other one is like indemnity insurance. So if you have any of these cases, right, CS can go for insurance, indemnity insurance where they will be protected. So it's not only for this NFRA, maybe if you have any other, let's say if you have a problem with your clients. I just gave an example right of PF, where client is trying to recover amount from us. Those cases also, if I have insurance, I will be protected. Yes.
Sir, in this type of cases, will insurance pay?
Yeah, definitely. So
they
again,
will say that you have not done your work properly, so I will not make
negligent cases. That's right. So negligent cases, there are exceptions for that.
Yeah, this case even they will not have.
So again, if you need to see the policy, see if it is due to your negligence or your particular lack of knowledge, definitely those things are not covered. But let's say you have things you have done from your end, but still you have penalty, then those cases will be covered. Also, this insurance, right? We have discussed a couple of risks in the beginning of the session, including your cyber, third-party risks. Everywhere you can take insurance. Insurance will protect you to the extent, though not completely, but it will give you definitely helping hand. So when you are troubled. Yes, yes, sir.
So, like you said, third party is
Yeah.
we do those 5 steps, risk assessment or like when you are taking claim, you should apply those steps before taking such troublesome claims.
Yes,
That also
yes.
may save you from some.
Exactly, yes. That's why I think we have discussed, before you onboard any third party, I think we should do all the 5 steps like risk
Here it
assessment.
is, before onboarding a customer, you should do that.
Yes, before you should do, but this is like post facto. But you have done all that, but still you have some risk. So you have to pay penalty, but insurance company might protect you.
While your assumptions could be valid, saying the CA would have done proper job, but we don't know if the client himself is fraudulent mindset. He has done something and you are facing those problems. So if you follow those risk assessment procedure before onboarding the sign, you may somewhere get protected.
Yes, definitely. So that will eliminate your majority of the risks. Yes, these are insurance will cover your residual risks. I think yeah, that's all from my side. So thank you so much for your patience and for 2 hours. I think I disturbed you a lot. Yeah.
Any questions for the speaker? Any clarifications?
We had a lot of interaction.
Okay.
We had a good amount of interactions. In fact, our interaction is more than whatever I had. I got even good inputs from the senior advocates.
Nice. So on behalf of Bengaluru branch, we thank you, Mahesh, for taking your time out and then being here and sharing your knowledge and experience and expertise with members. So I request our chairman to hand over the memento to the speaker. Can we have a big round of applause? Thank you. And members, thank you so much for this is a tricky subject, but you all participated and stayed in the